Go Claire, Reed, and Monty.
Claire Beeline, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. A lot of people, a lot of drivers call this their home track now, but you really are the hometown boy and from this area. Can you talk about this racetrack and racing this racetrack? And by the way, your team was really on fire, really looked good last night.
Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed that experience last night at the Pit Crew Challenge, and I think that was a pretty neat little program. But I've just been coming here for a really long time, and this place has a great reputation, great history, and the things that have happened here, from the stunts that Humpy pulled to the characteristics of the surface. That this place used to be so treacherous through 3 and 4 for so long before they repaved it, and then the repaving job, the grinding job, all the things we went through with the surface of this racetrack in just such a short period of time. The condos getting built, and how those things have, sort of what they brought to the Speedway. That was a big deal for me because we watched a lot of races up there. They might not be a big deal to a lot of people, but there's little things about racetracks that come and go, and just like this big screen on the back straightaway, that's going to be, however long it lasts. I mean, that's just a neat addition to the place, and just adds to its story. But I like running here, and I'm glad the track is fun. It is a fun racetrack. The two corners couldn't be any more different from each other. 1 and 2 seems like it's a half a mile longer than 3 and 4. 3 and 4 is real tight and tough to get through, and the sun sort of bakes on that corner real bad. 1 and 2 is kind of long and fun, pretty simple, pretty drawn out for you. And there's great racing here, but and the walls are yellow, oddly enough. So, I mean, there's just all kinds of cool things about this place and neat things about it. The infield as a kid was a lot of fun, and just a lot of memories.
Let's go Reed, Monty, and then Lee. Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Given that this is your first showdown, and specifically about that race, and given all the variables that are involved here, what's your mindset going in? I mean, is it aggressive? I'm going to win the race or finish second and transfer in, or make sure I finish on the lead lap and put it in the hands of the fans if that's what it takes?
I think I'm just gonna go out there and run as hard as that car can go, and try. I would love to get into the All-Star outright, and we have, I've paid attention over the last several months, and I know how much the fans put into voting for me, and should we win the fan vote, it would be because of everything that they did. But and I think they would agree with me that they would like to see me win and go in outright, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I know there's tough competition in that race, but we're going in and we're running hard and taking all the risks. I mean, I'm just, the opportunity for us to win the fan vote is definitely in the back of my mind, but I don't think it'll affect me at all how I drive the race, and if we're sitting there in the second segment running fifth, I promise you can guarantee that's as hard as I can. That's all I can get out of it at that time.
Let's go Monty, Lee, and then Woody. Go ahead, Monty.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Dale, I know that practice time was limited last week at Dover, but there's so much mystery at the end of races over how long no tires, how long 2 tires will last. And I was just thinking about, if you have plenty of time, it just seems like most people in practice, they practice with 4 tires and then they practice with 4 worn out. But it struck me that at the end of that race, no one really knew. There wasn't any security about what it was. And so I just wondered, do you try to get some assessment of what 2 tires are like at some point during practice if you have the chance?
I would say you do. If you think that that's a viable option in the race, you definitely might want to give that a shot in practice. And I can say that because earlier this week I was talking to Steve, and we were looking at what people did in between the two 20-lap segments of the shootout last year, because you can pit, you can not pit, you can take 2 tires. A couple guys didn't pit. Truex took 2. The 16 didn't pit, I don't believe. Several took 4. And so he was talking about, to prepare for this race tonight, we might practice on 2 new tires. We might put 2 rights on and go out and see how the car handles without any changes, just to know if we do want to take 2, what adjustments to make to the car. And I recall doing that, in the past, not so much lately because of the different, the tough, structured practices we have now that are so short, and you're trying to cram everything you can into it. You really don't have the luxury of trying something so trivial and something that might not really come into play. But it's definitely nice to do when you get that opportunity, and you do consider it from time to time.
Okay, we got time for 3 more questions. We're going to go with Lee, Woody, and then end with Mike Embry.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. Do you have any interest in what Kimi Räikkönen is going to do tonight in the truck, and will you watch the race, and what do you expect?
Yeah, certainly. I think that I would watch the race regardless probably, but definitely when something like that happens, a guy like that coming into sport, that definitely goes to the top of your list of interest when you're trying to tune into the event, see how he's going to do. And I really want him to have success. I hope that he runs well and enjoys his experience. And I like to see people come in and get opportunity, and I like to see people come in and say, I like to really see people come in that have never seen our sport, heard about it, maybe heard good and bad things about it, and then come in here and leave with a great impression. That makes me feel good. That makes me proud of being being a part of it for as long as I have. And I think that he will get a good impression. I think he'll enjoy what he's going to get himself into.
2 more, Woody and then Mike. Go ahead, Woody. Right behind you. Thank you.
Woody came with MRN. Dale, not too long before Kentucky with the Cup cars for the first time, your impressions about taking the Cup cars there to that track?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, I guess. It's a little rough. Last time I was there, it was a while ago, but, kind of bouncy and rough getting down in the corner. And that'll be kind of tricky on our cars because of the bump stops and how close we try to get the nose of the ground. And so it'll be a little bit of a challenge, but it's a wide racetrack. I think it'll put on some good racing. There's definitely different choices a driver can make getting through the corner, which is a lot of fun for the drivers. And I think that does make for good racing. So I know there's a ton of fans excited about our sport coming in that direction, and hopefully they'll show up in good numbers and let everybody know why they feel like they deserve a date. So I think it'll be a good success. So I'm looking forward to it.
Final question. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Embry, Speed.com. Dale, you mentioned earlier that the All-Star race being different now than in the 80s. How do you see the changes in it?
Well, I was talking to Marcus last night at the pit stop thing about it. I was like, man, this is just from a fan's standpoint, being a fan of the sport. I think the first segment's too long. I really liked the first, I think it was actually the 87 All-Star race. The way that race was structured, I don't remember really exactly what the lap numbers were, but I was thinking something like 25, 25, 10 was a good lap structure. And make the event a little shorter and make it a little more about the fireworks that the drivers provide in the event. Sort of pack it into a smaller, little neater structure. And if you need more racing, more action, if you're trying to make the day long and the event itself long for the fans, bring in other attractions, maybe something to do with the Nationwide Series or whatever to give the fans some more racing for their buck. But, try to take the All-Star race and make it a little bit more of a stick of dynamite than a whole long row of 180s. So it'll. I thought Marcus was agreeing with me too, so maybe I don't know, but it's it's a really great show, and I don't and this format surely appeals to a lot of people. That's just my opinion. But I look at this event, and I think it should be a celebration of the sport and a celebration of what the sport's about. Bring in all the guys that made it what it is, celebrate what they did, what they accomplished. You look at you look at the NFL and the Major League Baseball. They've had their All-Star events. They obviously, enjoy those events. And when you watch them, you see everybody there, really taking it in and really glad to be there, enjoying it. The players enjoy it. It's fun for it's a fun atmosphere for everybody, and it's relaxed. Maybe racing will never be like that. If we're going to have an event like this, it's never going to be relaxed. There's going to be some tension and some battles. But I like to see the sport get its due, and the people that made it what it is get their due, and I don't know. It just when I was a kid, it just seemed like it was a little more of a circus and a celebration and a fun time. And now that I'm in the event and working and trying to race, trying to win it, it's a lot more pressure, a lot more intense. But maybe it's still fun from the other side of the fence to experience. But it's a lot of pressure being a driver, and coming out here, especially now trying to get through the shootout and all. So it should be fun. But I'm looking forward to the experience. I'm sure I'll be a better person for it one way or another.
Dale, thanks a lot for coming
Thank
in, and a lot of luck to you this weekend.